Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a crucial research topic that affects us all: the environmental consequences of projects financed by multilateral development banks. We'll explore the variables like carbon emissions and deforestation rates. But before we get into the details, let's understand why this research is so important. Importance of the research topic. The impact of development projects on the environment is undeniable. These projects, often financed by multilateral development banks, can have far-reaching consequences on our planet. From increased carbon emissions to accelerated deforestation, the environmental toll is substantial. Our research aims to shed light on these consequences, providing valuable insights for policymakers, environmentalists, and the general public. Understanding the environmental footprint of these projects is crucial for sustainable development and the well-being of our planet. Real-world examples. Take, for instance, the construction of the Belo Monte Dam in Brazil, financed by multilateral development banks. While it aimed to meet growing energy demands, the project led to significant deforestation and altered river ecosystems, illustrating the complex environmental trade-offs associated with large-scale infrastructure development. The research problem arises here as we question how such projects impact carbon emissions and deforestation rates, highlighting the need for a comprehensive analysis of the environmental consequences of multilateral development bank-funded initiatives. Let's shift our focus to the East African Standard Gauge Railway, a project supported by various development banks. While it aimed to enhance regional connectivity and stimulate economic growth, concerns were raised about its ecological footprint, particularly in terms of wildlife habitats and migration corridors. This real-world scenario underscores the significance of our research, as it prompts us to explore how different project types contribute to environmental changes. By addressing these concerns, we can pave the way for more sustainable development practices in the future. Chapter 1: Introduction. Now, let's delve into the first chapter of our research, the introduction. This chapter sets the stage for our entire study. Here's how to draft it. Research problem. For instance, our research problem could be centered around understanding the specific impact of infrastructure projects on carbon emissions. This problem statement guides our investigation. Research significance. The significance lies in the global implications of these projects. By uncovering their environmental consequences, we can contribute to the development of more sustainable practices. Research questions. What is the correlation between multilateral development bank-financed projects and carbon emissions? How do these projects contribute to deforestation rates? Are there variations in environmental impact across different regions? Our research questions help us focus our investigation. These three examples guide our exploration into the specifics of environmental impact. Research objectives. To analyze the relationship between project types and carbon emissions. To assess the contribution of projects to deforestation rates. To identify regional variations in the environmental impact of financed projects. These objectives outline the specific goals we aim to achieve through our research. Research rationale. Our rationale lies in the need for informed decision-making. By understanding the environmental consequences, we can guide the future development towards more sustainable practices. Chapter 2: Literature Review. Moving on to Chapter 2: The Literature Review. This section provides the context for our study by examining existing knowledge and theories. Suitable subtopics. Environmental impact of infrastructure projects. Role of multilateral development banks in project financing. Previous studies on carbon emissions and deforestation rates. These subtopics help structure our literature review, providing a comprehensive understanding of the current state of knowledge. Theories and models. Environmental Kuznets curve. This theory illustrates the relationship between economic development and environmental degradation. Sustainable development model. This theory emphasizes the balance between economic growth and environmental preservation. These theories and models provide frameworks for analyzing the environmental consequences of development projects. Literature gap. Despite existing studies on project financing, a gap exists in understanding the specific environmental repercussions of multilateral development bank-funded projects. Identifying this gap is crucial as it highlights the unique contribution our research makes to the existing body of knowledge. Chapter 3 Methodology. Now, let's explore Chapter 3 Methodology. This section outlines our approach to conducting the research. Conceptual framework. Independent variables: project type, funding amount, geographic region. Dependent variable: environmental impact. This conceptual framework helps us organize and understand the relationships between different elements of our study. Research philosophy. Pragmatism, combining positivism and interpretivism to gain a holistic understanding. Pragmatism suits our research, allowing us to blend quantitative and qualitative approaches for a comprehensive understanding. Research approach. Inductive, drawing general conclusions from specific observations. An inductive approach is suitable as we aim to derive broader insights from our detailed observations. Research strategy. Case study, analyzing specific projects and their environmental impact. A case study approach allows us to delve deep into individual projects, providing rich insights. Data analysis method. Quantitative statistical analysis of carbon emissions and deforestation rates. Given the nature of our variables, a quantitative approach is appropriate for precise analysis. Ethical considerations. Ensuring the privacy and consent of communities affected by the projects. Ensuring ethical practices is paramount, especially when dealing with real-world communities impacted by these projects. Limitations and delimitations. Availability of accurate project data. Acknowledging these limitations helps maintain transparency and credibility in our research. Chapter 4 Data Analysis. In Chapter 4, we'll conduct the data analysis based on the methodology we've outlined. Quantitative analysis. Determining the correlation between funding amount and carbon emissions with a sample size of 100 projects. A quantitative analysis involves statistical methods, and will use a sample size of 100 projects for precise results. Qualitative analysis. Thematic analysis of community interviews with a sample size of 20. For qualitative analysis, we'll conduct in-depth interviews with a smaller sample size to extract nuanced insights. Chapter 5 Conclusion. Now, let's wrap up our research with Chapter 5 The Conclusion. This chapter summarizes our findings and their implications for future endeavors. Chapter 6 Recommendations. Chapter 6 Recommendations. We'll provide actionable suggestions based on our research, steering future projects towards environmentally sustainable practices. Suggestion for future research. Finally, for those looking to continue this line of inquiry, consider exploring the long-term impacts of sustainable development practices or investigating innovative financing models that prioritize environmental conservation. Thank you for joining us on this journey of exploration. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you found this information valuable. Until next time, stay curious,